4. The Selfish Giant. Oscar Wilde. What happens when we live without caring about the feelings of others? Is that a kind of life that is happy and fulfilling? There is certainly something amiss in such a selfish life. In this story, nature plays the role of a leveler and a spoilsport when a giant, who owns a beautiful garden, becomes apathetic to the extent of becoming selfish. Read to find out what happens when he prohibits little children from playing in his garden. Long ago, on top of a big mountain, there stood a magnificent castle with an exquisite garden that had soft, green grass and vibrant flowers. Here and there over the grass stood beautiful flowers like stars, and there were 12 peach trees that, in the springtime, broke out into delicate blossoms of pink and pearl, and, in the autumn, bore rich fruit. The birds sat on the trees and sang sweet melodious songs. The children from neighboring houses loved to play in this garden. Sometimes, they would stop their games in order to listen to the birds. They were very happy there. But no one knew that the house belonged to a giant who had been on a visit to his friend, the ogre, for almost 7 years. One day, the giant came back. That was when the children came to know that their happiness was short-lived. When he arrived, he saw the children playing in the garden. "What is going on in my garden? Now none of you will get a pardon. How dare you spoil my flower? Evil rain on you will shower. Never show up here again, or I shall cause you severe pain," he cried in such a rough voice that the children ran away. Vocabulary notes. Magnificent, splendid, vibrant, lively, pardon, the act of forgiving, ogre, monster, melodious, beautiful. "This is my garden," said the giant, "and I will allow nobody to play in it but myself." So he built a high wall all round it, and put up a notice board. What a selfish giant he was! Now where are we going to play? The poor children wondered. They did not like playing on the road. They used to wander round the high wall when their school was over, and talk about the beautiful garden inside. "Oh, how happy we were there!" they sighed. When spring came, she brought with her little blossoms and little birds that filled the entire country. However, in the garden of the selfish giant, winter was still breathing. The birds cared not to sing songs as there were no children, and the trees simply forgot to blossom. Once, a beautiful flower unfurled its petals and put its head out from the grass, but when it saw the notice board, it was so sorry for the children that it slipped back into the ground again, and went off to sleep. The snow and the frost were the only people who were pleased. "Spring will not come to this garden," they shouted in glee, "so we will live here all the year round." The snow covered up the grass with her great white cloak, and the frost painted all the trees silver. They also invited the north wind to spend some time there, and he came quite enthusiastically. Wrapped in furs, he rode all day about the garden, and blew the chimney pots down. "This is such a delightful spot," he thundered, "we must ask the hail to join us." Enthusiastically, excitedly, ardently. And so came the hail. He made such a rattling noise on the roof of the castle till most of the slates were broken. He whirled around the garden in his great cloak, breathing out frosty air. The selfish giant sat at the window and looked out, wondering why spring was so late in coming to his garden. He wished desperately that the weather would change. The spring, however, did not come, neither did the summer. Even autumn did not bear any golden fruit in the giant's garden. "Ah, he is too selfish," she exclaimed. So it was always winter there, and the north wind, and the hail, and the frost, and the snow danced about through the trees. One afternoon, as he lay in his bed, a very pleasant sound reached his ears. Was he daydreaming? He pinched himself. It was the sound of a linnet sitting on his windowsill singing the most melodious song ever. It was so long since he had heard a bird sing in his garden that it seemed to him to be the most beautiful music in the world. I believe the spring has come at last, said the giant, and he jumped out of bed and looked out. Lo behold! He saw a most wonderful sight. Through a little hole in the wall the children had crept in, and they were sitting on the branches of the trees. The trees were so glad to have the children back again that they had covered themselves with blossoms. The birds were twittering with delight, and the flowers were looking up through the green grass and laughing merrily. Whirled, spun, linnet, a small brown and gray bird with a red front. Realization dawned upon the selfish giant. How selfish I have been, he thought. I know now why the spring would not come here. All because of my selfish nature. He crept downstairs and went out into the garden. But when the children saw him, they ran away, frightened. And it was winter again in the giant's garden. Come back. Don't run away. It is your garden now, little children, called out the giant. Then he took a great axe and knocked down the wall. The children came back and played all day in his garden. How happy they were there! And so was the giant, who was no longer selfish. About the author. Oscar Wilde, 1854–1900, was a prolific Irish writer who wrote plays, fiction, essays and poetry. After writing in different forms throughout the 1880s, he became one of London's most popular playwrights in the early 1890s. He is best remembered for his epigrams and plays, the novel The Picture of Dorian Gray, as well as the circumstances of his imprisonment and early death. Think and answer. Where was the giant's castle located, and what was special about the garden? Why was the happiness of the children short-lived? What happened to the garden when the children stopped visiting? What role did nature play in this story? What made the giant realize his mistake? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Using words personification. The attribution of human nature and characteristics to something non-human is called personification. Read the following sentences from the story. A beautiful flower unfurled its petals and put its head out from the grass. Here, the flower is described as if it has a head and can move just like a person. The snow and the frost were the only people who were pleased. Spring will not come to this garden, they shouted in glee. Here, snow, frost and spring are shown as if they have feelings and can talk like people. Appreciation. Oscar Wilde is known for his clever and funny writing. In The Selfish Giant, he uses simple language and a fun story to teach an important lesson. The story suggests that if we give happiness to others, we will also be happy in our lives. It teaches us about love, kindness and friendship. The main themes in the short story The Selfish Giant are redemption and the negative consequences of selfishness. Since the story was written for children, the author used a symbolic approach by creating a magical world with giants, ogres and natural elements that act like people. The seasons and weather, from spring to hail, are described as if they have human traits. The theme of redemption and forgiveness has been shown effectively when the giant realizes his mistake and asks for forgiveness. The main message of the story is that the greatest happiness comes from sharing selflessly.